Look, we're not all about doom and gloom here. No, of course not. It's not always about the battlefield sinners around here. We try to cover other things besides crappy player behavior and broken mechanics. Yeah! We go over the fun, the cool things you could do, some tips and tricks to help take some of the sting out of the sweats you may encounter in your battlefield travels. Besides, it's Friday, and who really wants to keep giving the kiddie table a hard time 24 hours, 7 days a week anyway? No, today, we're taking advantage of EA DICE's decision to delay the launch of Season 2 and extend Season 1 and talk about it. And talk about some things that I'd like to tackle within the game. We got updates, we got ideas, and we got lists. So buckle up, folks. Well, let's get into this. Okay, so the birthday present I was hoping for this month was not this. However, I do try to see the silver lining in every disappointment. I'll provide a direct link to the announcement for those of you who are late to the delay party, but basically the announcement stated that as they listen to the community feedback, the developers are working hard to try and deliver. So, they wanted to take extra time to polish up some things for Season 2. They also advised that they were working on fixes as well as the content. Okay, so a delay in content is a bit disappointing, but it's not the end of the world, no matter what the kids from the kid table says. Though I don't expect huge major fixes, sorry, I think the hit reg issue is going to take a little longer to address, as it has done so historically. But even minor fixes to quality of life in a live service game addresses major pain points within that said game. I've seen weirder things. But the Season 1 extension will bring us an additional bonus path. They're calling it the Frostfire Bonus Path. Weird title, but whatever. Which is supposed to premiere on January 20th for new things, several double XP events, and free daily login rewards. Maybe just logging into the game might be rewarding enough. Yay! You know, just log in and get a treat, kids. Anyway, so yes, things are coming. Probably nothing big to write home about, but we'll see. In the meantime, I figured we could talk about the possibilities. We could discuss the things the game could offer. Things EA could bring back to make this game really epic. Okay, so we're going to take this as an intro to the conversation, this video. Basically, I'm going to drop a list of things I'd like to see in the game in the future to start the conversation. The comment section is obviously for you to either go over what I listed here or to add to it. Now, for Christ's sake, it goes without saying that this quick list needs to be done. Hit reg issues, balancing, more content. We'll get to that in a minute. Patience, Padawans. Bigger and better maps. Graphical issues. Progression tracking failures. Netcode. Portal server hosting. UI errors, etc., etc., etc. But let's pretend for a minute that these things are either completely resolved or will be resolved. Honestly, we've gone over these quite a few times, so there's no sense in repeating them, right? EA is aware, we're aware. Okay? Okay. The combat revive. I saw this on a Facebook post and immediately thought this was a fantastic idea. Look, just in case the poster on Facebook sees the image from the thumbnail, dude, I messaged you and you never got back to me, and I waited like 4 days, so that's my disclaimer. Anywho, if you're being grabbed and dragged, you should have the ability to unholster your sidearm and be able to shoot things during the grab and drag mechanic. Now, mind you, I think it does require some limits, such as a limited range or not being able to reload if you can empty the chamber or magazine before the revive completes. Further, sometimes a player dragging you might slip and accidentally let go. Oftentimes this happens when the down player is elevated somehow and the reviver is pulling them down to the ground. Sometimes this is a miss opportunity simply because of pixels. When this happens, the ability to keep shooting should stop until the revive mechanic kicks in again or you die, whichever comes first. But the ability should only happen when the grab and drag mechanic engages, not before. To keep it simple, manually switching back to your primary should be the default once the revive completes. I would even consider a health penalty as compensation. What I mean by this is your health is fully restored to 100 during the current grab and drag mechanic. I would accept half my health regenerated if I had the ability to shoot my sidearm as covering fire, suppressive fire, or limited range fire. Another option is to have the ability to shoot and not engage during the grab and drag to get full health. If I don't shoot, I get full health. If I do shoot, I get half. An alternative to this specific scenario could be full health regardless from a squad mate, half health from a teammate. Now, for historical context, in Battlefield 5, the body dragging was a highly anticipated feature shown in the reveal trailer, but was cancelled before launch because developers felt it made gameplay too slow and unresponsive. And in Battlefield 3, there was a featured script version of this in the campaign, Operation Swordbreaker, where you drag a teammate while under fire. Now, the impact is that it could transform the most vulnerable moment in the game into a highly intensely tactical play. It rewarded the medic for their bravery and gives the victim a reason to stay in the game rather than just holding down the skip button. Let's bring back some classic close quarters lethality. One of the biggest losses to Battlefield 6, in my humble opinion, is the counter melee, especially with the knives. Bringing back the ability to reverse a frontal knife attack with a timed button press would be great to see again. It also took a bit of skill to do depending on your timing. You literally have a microsecond to counter it. Right now we have this stab death. I would like to see the game move away from this current multi-hit stabby stab. The Battlefield 4 way made stealth and positioning actually rewarding. This brings us to the defib skills. This once held a high position in the disrespect move. Charging up your paddles to kill an enemy was a staple of the sandbox humor that gave the franchise some added character. Its absence is not only immediately felt literally in Battlefield 6, it's also a missed, funny way to kill opponents. Another classic I'd like to see make a comeback is the strategic bigger picture. I really like the commander feature from Battlefield 4. I don't think it got enough love and attention. This was a dedicated 33rd player, or 34th, who views the map from a bird's eye view, dropping supplies, EMPs, and cruise missiles. It even brought out the big C-130 gunship, which I'll get to in a moment. He or she also did spotting for the entire team. They deployed EMP UAVs, Tomahawk missile strikes, and scans. This would allow recon to drop the drone, which gets knocked out of the sky damn near as soon as you pop it up into the air anyway, and open up a slot for a different, more useful tool. This commander feature was done from a different device, so you could play some Battlefield while at lunch at work, or if you're traveling and someone else decided it was time for a change and they were driving. With cellular technology as it is now, this could be a great thing to bring back. Even in Battlefield 4, there were ribbons and other rewards to achieve as the commander. Plus, with the Steam Deck 2 and better cloud gaming, a commander app would actually work better now than it did back in 2013. Now, expanding on the bigger picture ideal, I'll repeat this as often as I can. As I've mentioned, I am a big fan of Platoons. Platoons were the game's social clan structure, introduced back in Battlefield 4, that allowed for organized competitions. There were server wars, clan versus clan. Clans allowed for much better squad ups than we currently have. Even though I'm working on an unofficial version of this, I would very much be thrilled if EA DICE officially brought this back. I'm not sure why this died. Speaking of died, I'm not a big fan of the current end game screen. Like, what happened to the damn scoreboard? I know you could tab or key it up, but come on. Showing the scoreboard was way better end screen to me than seeing top squad and your squad's animation. I get the beginning of the session as a sort of a loading screen, but the end screen is so meh. Plus, if you played as the commander, your score was included. And since we're on the scoreboard, I'd like to see it revamped to show more than just total points and kill deaths. Those metrics tell a small fraction of what happened within 20 to 25 minutes. The scoreboard with metrics like revives, resupplies, repairs should be shown prominently next to kills and deaths. This signals that teamwork is just as important as kill-death ratios. Plus, it literally shows you a lot of the things I've been saying in my videos, that you could be number one without killing anything because you did other things. But I guess that'll bruise too many fragile egos, I suppose. Well, good. Maybe you need them bruised. I didn't want to touch weapons or gadgets too much here because mostly, and honestly, I'd rather discuss them in the comments. Why? Well, there's a ton of them to choose from and everyone has their favorites, and good lord, pulling them all up in one video would take hours. But there's one gadget I would very much love to see make a comeback in Battlefield 6. The Mortar Strike from Bad Company. You basically whipped out this handheld device, target an area, and hit the button. You wait a moment, and you saw artillery just rain down on the target, or targets. This device cleared out a lot of sniper nest and camper crusaders instantly. And from a distance, too. This could be a fantastic gadget to replace the spotting drone if Commander came back. There's rumors Metro is coming, and EA has all but announced a Paracel Storm. That being said, I would like to see EA and DICE make available all the maps from all the games within the franchise to be available for Portal. They could do this one of a few ways. Simply upload them to Portal for selection, which would be the obvious choice, or have an official section on an official site to download the files to upload them manually. One of my two favorite maps was Gulf of Oman and Karg Island. I wouldn't have to concern myself with remaster wishlist disappointments because I would have my favorite maps in Portal. There's like literally over 100 maps total. So yeah, a full library access in Portal containing every map from Battlefield 1942 through Battlefield 1 or even Battlefield 2042 would be cool. But there's a few snafus here, some pesky issues, some hurdles, if you will. Remastering maps is not an easy feat for EA DICE to perform. For one, it takes manpower and resources. The Frostbite engine we have now is more advanced than previous iterations. The developers would need to spend months reworking them to bring them up to current graphic standards. Me personally, I wouldn't care if they maintained the old school graphics. But EA DICE have concerns that the drooling and screaming from the kids' table would be a response to either, "What the hell is this?" or "The game must be broken," because the graphics wouldn't be in Ultra 4K with 1,000,000 frames per second. Plus, there's the legal issues EA DICE would need to address, as some of the code used in previous titles are not owned by EA DICE. Not directly anyway. It would be a massive undertaking and challenge, so this is probably not going to happen like ever. But it would be cool if they did. Imagine the scene from the film, guys. For my own legal reasons, I couldn't insert it here. Speaking of maps, this would be a great way to introduce these KD Kings to Metro. I've never met or heard of a single player ever in the history of ever that made it out of Metro unscathed and with their KD ratio intact. I would very much love to see how big and bad people would be talking after their KD playing Metro for the first time. Because I promise you, your KD ratio would be utter garbage after running that map. Now, some folks from the kiddie table might disagree with this part of the map, so feel free to tune out. But I would like to see more casual level maps outside Breakthrough. Now, I'm not sure how they could do it well, but I'd be interested in seeing it. But if it stays in smaller maps, well, man, add Rush. Again, not sure how well they could do this or do it at all. But I am kind of bored with Breakthrough maps, casual or not. Finally, we have some vehicle comebacks and the final boss. Now, the vehicles I'm about to mention would work best if we did have bigger maps getting introduced to Battlefield 6. The one I had a lot of fun with was the M142 HIMARS from Battlefield 3. This mobile rocket artillery system was a bastard in the game, and it forced teams to hunt it down. It fucked everything up from squads to tanks. Hell, I've seen an accidental helicopter and jet hit a few times with this damn thing. The C-130 Gunship. This was the commander's big toy. I loved it in this thing, even if the experience was brief. It was a massive flying plane that shifted the entire flow of the match. You could spawn in on it and man the side gun and just beat the shit out of things. Now, the experiences were brief because everybody on the ground knew how much of a game changer it was and did everything they could to kill it. Like, the ground shit literally stopped so the opposition could bring it down. Dirt bikes. This might be up the Speed Freaks alley. High speed, high risk transport from Battlefield 4's endgame DLC, and they were legendary. Drivers would ferry around players to drop C4 like they were Christmas presents, and casual carnage and chaos at breakneck speed. I wish Battlefield 6 hadn't removed IEDs in the game, especially Operation Firestorm. These things were great for little ambushes to players not paying attention, and they damaged armor really bad. The final boss. The Phantom Mystery. I would like to see a new Phantom project. I mean, I purchased the Phantom Edition of this game, so let's fucking go, EA. The Phantom program for Battlefield 4 was massive. A multi-stage Easter egg hunt that required a lot of work, patience, and time to achieve. Special dog tags, skins, camos, and weapons. I would very much like to see something like that of scale again, even if we're in this garbage live service. Some legacy skins would be kind of cool too, like Haggard's outfit from Bad Company or Wrecker from Battlefield 4 as rewards for challenges would be the ultimate nod to long-term fans. That's it, guys. That's my wish list. Things I would love to see in Battlefield 6, realistically or not. What about you? I know this list isn't definitive, and I know some viewers are like, nah, dog, we don't need that back in the franchise. It was bad enough dealing with it back in the day. So, what list do you have? I know a lot of you out there have them, but let's hear them. Drop them in the comments. I appreciate those that made it to the end here. You are the real MVPs. I wanted to take a break from yelling at the kids to quit their drooling and screaming at the table and have a bit of fun here. Now, before you bounce for the weekend, don't forget the Vet Spotlight of the month in the video description. If you have potential vet spotlights you'd like me to add, let me know. Okay, I'm off to get my Jeep ready for an off-road thing tomorrow, so you folks be safe and have a great weekend. And until the next one, always keep up with the hood rat shit. Out.